This founder joined me to share the exact marketing strategies he's using to grow a SaaS to 5 million ARR and beyond, including one channel that's driving 95% of his signups and revenues. We talk through everything, the highs, the lows, the experiments, the learnings, so you can fast track your SaaS's growth, learn from his mistakes, and start driving signups, demos, and revenue. Let's dive into it. Hey Vasco, welcome to the show. How are we doing?
Hey, thank you so much. Doing great. Glad to be here. It's always a good time meeting with other founders.
Yeah, likewise, man. Good to be chatting with a fellow B2B and SaaS SEO nerd. So we're going to be diving into a $5 million and beyond SaaS SEO strategy. And we're going to be diving into all of the different strategies really that you've used. Some have worked, some have not. Some you've tried, some you failed. Yeah, exactly. I get that. The highs, the lows, the ups and downs that running a SaaS actually looks like without the kind of sometimes too polished version that you might see on channels like LinkedIn or YouTube where everything looks great, but us as founders know that there's many ups, many downs. So I suppose if you could give a quick intro to kind of your SaaS, what it's about, just to give some context for folks watching or listening in.
Yeah, so our SaaS is called Arvo. It's basically a SaaS that helps you do SEO a bit faster. In essence, it doesn't do any magic. Okay? It just leverages AI to do some of your SEO tasks a bit faster. So it's not click a button, rank first. It's click a few buttons and do more things to help with your SEO, both for the classic search engines like Google and Bing, and now the new LLM-based AI search engines like GPT, Perplexity, Grok. That's basically like the short pitch of it. Yeah.
Nice. And how long's the platform? How long's the tool been running?
Yeah, we're running for 2 years now, 2.5 years, I think. We've rebranded since. It was called Journalist AI, which is probably the worst name ever because we were ranking for a bunch of like irrelevant keywords like AI journalist, AI journalism. So we rebranded to Arvo, which doesn't really mean anything. It's just cooler and won't get us ranked for irrelevant keywords. So yeah, 2 years and running. Yeah.
Got it. So we don't like to mess about here. We like to get stuck into strategies. Definitely want to know everything you've tried and what you've learned along the way. So I suppose it would be good maybe to almost start from the start. Like when you were building the product, what was some of the first things you tried for when it came to customer acquisition?
I guess we were lucky because I used to own another company in the past. It was it was called Vetted with 3 T's. It was a B2B SEO services marketplace. Think like Fiverr, but just for SEO. And when I sold it, before I sold it, I had a bunch of connections in the SEO space with agencies and buyers, etc. So the transition from that other company to back then Journalist AI was the name, was sort of easy because we could easily validate the idea. Back then, it was if you go to Wayback Machine, you'll see it. It was just an article generator. You put a keyword, click a button, it would send you the articles to your email in a TXT file. It was very weird. But that got us validation. And because one of the things we didn't want to do was build out this amazing big product with a bunch of features and then people wouldn't use it. So we built the simplest MVP ever. So yeah, that got us the first validation. We weren't pioneers in the AI space in terms of content generation, but it was like people were getting more interested in it. So that helped as well. Like surfing the wave helped as well in growing the product. So again, the beginning is always like speaking with customers back and forth, seeing what they like, what they don't like, putting them on Slack, speaking back and forth with them, asking for referrals. That was the beginning. But where things grew...
Talk us through a bit more about exactly how you did that. Because I know different founders have got different ways that they do test validation. And most of us know that the worst thing you can do is trying to solve a problem that no one actually has or that folks aren't willing to pay to fix. So what were some of the kind of practical things you did to actually test validation and prove it was a product worth selling?
Yeah, first thing is don't build useless features you think people want, right? You just build what they actually want. And the way in which we knew it, it was just literally asking them, which is something we still do till this day. Just asking, hey, what do you want? Like, what do you want to do? Please, like, give us your processes. Back then, we asked a couple agencies, how does your SEO processes look like? They told us, and then we thought with them, okay, how can we implement our AI into some of these processes to maybe optimize them? You know, so it was looking at what they were doing and how we could improve it to some extent.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, that was SEO agency operators.
Yeah. We did have also a lot of like solopreneurs because a lot of our marketing was geared towards those people, which is something we sort of are trying to steer away from, because one of the issues we had in the beginning was we had the two of a broad ICP. We're targeting solopreneurs, SMBs, and agencies, and it's very hard to create a product that tailors to all three, right?
I'm guessing is that something you found along the way? That kind of the agency owner was the route that you wanted to go through that kind of customer conversations?
Yeah, because like agencies are the power users of our product, meaning they give us the most feedback, right? They use the product more actively, and also, as you know, like in the SEO space, things aren't instant, and usually a solopreneur, small business owner has less money to invest, and they expect results like this. And agencies know that it takes a bit more time to get the results, and also like agencies know what they're doing. Like a local business owner might not necessarily know what they're doing, so they might not use the software in the right way. That's why we also created a bunch of content for free on YouTube with guides, tutorials, how-tos, to sort of help these people understand how to use it. But yeah, at the end of the day, we move towards agencies a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose the takeaway here is when you're trying to identify features, processes to build, and you have like 2 or 3 target markets, target ideal client profiles that you can work with, like 1, find the one that has the expensive problem, and 2, go after the one that's kind of motivated to solve it, but also can, like in your case, it was agencies opposed to solopreneurs, the one that's going to see the value, probably less likely to churn, and like thirdly, more likely to invest more over time, I guess.
I do though think that like when you look at the SaaS space, eventually every SaaS product moves up market and gets more expensive. That's just how it works. But I think when you're starting a SaaS, I might be wrong here, but you can't really start it at a high ticket price. At least I think if we had started Arvo back then for agencies, we would never be able to build a good product for them. We had to go through the slums and the shitty features and move up market by default. I don't think you can just go up market first try.
Got it. So has pricing changed quite a bit over time?
Yeah, it's been increasing over time. Because when you look at the data and you see people buying the highest package over and over again, you think, okay, what if we increase the prices? Will they keep on buying? And so they will. So you just increase over and over again. And that also, like, the pricing decision was made, of course, to make more money, as any business should, but also to like deter our non-ICP from buying, right? Because think of it, like if you get a lot of people that aren't your ICP, like a lot of solopreneurs, you get more support tickets. You get more people that get angry, get bad reviews, right? So it's a big snowball.
Yeah, pricing in itself is like such a huge thing in B2B, like outside of SaaS. Like it's the same with us, right? Running a SaaS, a B2B SEO agency. I've done it in the past. When we had super low rates, we attracted all the wrong type of clients. This was before we niched down to B2B and SaaS, and all those clients expected the world and expected it for a penny. And they were terrible for customer support because they were constantly nagging us for more and more and more. Whereas when we raised prices, we attracted better clients and there were less headaches and they actually appreciated the value. So yeah, it can resonate a lot with that kind of outside.
There's a meme
SaaS
for that, right? There's that meme where like 5K clients expect like the world, whatever, 50K client, yeah, here's the money, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's 10K, money sent.
Yeah, exactly.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so you went through that groundwork, you put that together, you understood kind of who you wanted to go after, pricing perhaps we can chat about later if it makes sense, and then I'm guessing you built the solution and brought it to market. Was kind of the next play?
Yeah, so after the initial traction, in fact, at around I think 3K in MRR, 3,000, we thought about selling it because we were having a hard time growing it. I think there's even a tweet on my Twitter saying, hey, we're selling Roverfly, or excuse me, selling Journalist AI, who wants to buy it. Thankfully, we didn't sell because we're like at this hump. Like I had done every single thing I knew how to do to get the initial traction, which was speaking with my contacts, my direct connections, building out the product. They were liking, they were paying it, but I was struggling on how to find more clients. And I tested a bunch of stuff. And still to this day, when you plateau, we test a bunch of stuff until something works. Like our growth isn't like this. It's like this, you know, like any business, I think. And that's when I think I started doubling down on YouTube. And we can speak about YouTube SEO as well, because oftentimes I feel like people think about SEO as just written form, but no, SEO is everywhere, even podcasts, right?
Yeah.
And so that's when we started like hardcore doubling down on YouTube, like every single day a video on YouTube for a full year. I'm talking like 10 to 20 minute videos every single day. Very hard to do. And as cliche again as it sounds, like if you want to get stuff everyone doesn't have, you have to be doing stuff nobody's doing. And we did every single day, like going over features, going over case studies, going over client results, going over just SEO news, and of course also capitalizing on the wave, the AI SEO wave, like fear mongering a bit, just doing marketing on YouTube. And YouTube still is our biggest lead driver at the moment.
Yeah.
And videos we made like last year still get views today.
Got it. Let's talk about that in a sec. So you got around 3K MRR just from the initial talking to customers. I'm guessing some of those...
And Twitter as well.
Okay, and Twitter. So I'm guessing talking to prospects and some of those became customers, maybe referred a couple folks. And
we did a lot of building in public on Twitter, like just sharing revenue screenshots and how much money we're making. Still, I think a lot of people do this till this day, like sharing how much money they're making. Mm-hmm. And we were speaking offline about Adam Robinson from B2B, and he is crushing it on LinkedIn. I think partially because he shares really openly how much money he's making, etc. And people appreciate that transparency. And also, money goes viral most times, right? So we're doing that on Twitter.
Gotcha. Nice. So YouTube, and I think what you spoke to then, YouTube SEO, it goes, at least from my experience, it goes way beyond that as well. Especially now with LLMs, like putting results from all kind of channels outside of traditional websites from the web. So I think the fact that YouTube is so underserved, in my opinion, in B2B, in SaaS, in tech, there's very few companies that nail it. But you're one of the few that's kind of doing really well, annoyingly, for a lot of the SaaS SEO and B2B SEO terms we're going after. And yeah, a lot of respect, because like you said, there's a lot of work that goes on in YouTube, and it's extremely hard to crack. Not many have done it. So it'd be good. I think a lot of folks tuning in here would be interested to go under the bonnet of, one, why you chose to double down, and two, I suppose, tactically speaking, how you think about it.
Yeah, I think YouTube, the reason why it works so well is because...
Real quick, if you're tired of competitors ranking above you on Google's organic search results and now LLMs, meaning those SaaS competitors are stealing traffic, mindshare, leads, signups, and revenue just because they invested in an SEO program, well, we fix that for SaaS companies and B2B companies with an unusual approach to SEO and content marketing. If you want to schedule a quick call with myself over at breakingb2b.com, we can chat through exactly where you're at now, where you'd like to get to, see if we're a good match to start driving pipeline through SEO and LLM optimization. Head over to breakingb2b.com to grab that call, or hit the link in the description below. Right, back to the video.
People buy from people, right? People buy from people they know, like, and trust. And the easiest way to make someone know, like, and trust you is for them to, like, see your face and hear your voice for long periods of time. And YouTube is the only social media that allows for that, right? It's long-form video content. And so that's why we did it. In terms of, like, you have to be somewhat... You can't be boring, right? You sort of do info education.
Yeah.
Right. First, you have to be consistent with it. Like, we were posting for a full year, getting like 100, 200 views, which kind of sucked. But I mean, you keep pushing. You have to be entertaining. You have to know where to make the calls to action. You have to create a thumbnail and a title combination, like a packaging, that the pain of scrolling away is higher than the pain of clicking it. Mr. Beast does this very well. Like, he's the king of YouTube. Like, every single one of these thumbnails makes you want to click. Whether that's because he's like a chainsaw on his face or like a shark beside him, you want to click to know what's happening. And that's a bit harder in the SEO or the B2B boring space that is B2B, right? I'll give you an example. For SEO, everyone in SEO knows like the Ahrefs graphs, right? So yeah, just plaster a bunch of Ahrefs graphs on your thumbnails with a little arrow. People know what it is, so you're targeting the correct ICP, right? Irrelevant people aren't clicking. And that works right. You see it, for example, in the e-commerce dropshipping niche, right? Everyone that's doing like dropshipping like content, there's always like a Stripe screenshot, a Shopify screenshot. So yeah, it's hard for me to give you specifics because I think you'll come out through one year and go to the other. I think the best way generally is to just give it a go for like 90 days, just post every single day because you learn all the nuances. And in terms of SEO, like we have videos that are getting views for like a year. For example, going back to my very first company, the marketplace. Basically, we're a marketplace like Fiverr, right, with a bunch of SEO services. And I wanted to drive traffic to the marketplace through YouTube. So what I did was I made a video for every single service on how to make that service. For example, we had this guy that sold Wikipedia pages. So I made a video on how to create a Wikipedia page. And it was like a boring, like 30-minute video saying, hey, here's how to do it, etc. And at the end, it was like, okay, You can do all this yourself, or you can just pay this guy on my marketplace to do this for you. That was the whole thing. And that video now shows up if you search for how to make a Wikipedia page, how to create a Wikipedia page. So that same thought process was applied to a lot of the videos we put out in terms of the SEO.
So do you think about it at a high level, like show your target prospects how to do it, but at the same time show that it takes a lot of time, expertise, resource, and so on, and then show them how they can alleviate all that pain by either working with you or working with your SaaS or working with your tool or your product, whatever the end offer is?
Yeah, that's basically it. I think Hermosi talks about that as well. Like give everything away for free and then sell the implementation. Because people don't want to have the work, right? If they can press a button on software, they prefer to do that, right?
What made you think of YouTube, by the way? Like, did it just suddenly come to you?
The way people consume content there, because it's long form. They see my face, they hear my voice for like 20 minutes. I'd much rather have a YouTube video get 100 views than a LinkedIn post get 1,000. Even though I know LinkedIn works, YouTube we create a connection. You feel like you know me. More sort of like a parasocial relationship to some extent.
So that's been the main driver. Like what on a percentage scale of sign-ups to the SaaS, what would you say YouTube is at in terms of the percentage of business it brings in?
90.
Is
95.
It?
Yeah, it's insane.
That's a heck of a chunk, isn't it?
It's so high that we didn't even want to focus on other things. We just doubled down on YouTube to the point where we had the branded YouTube channel and we had my YouTube channel. And I thought, okay, how can we scale this? Well, let me just create a bunch of different YouTube channels like Tim SEO Tips, the SEO Guru, whatever, about SEO. Then let me hire people and put them on this channel and have them produce content. So we as a brand, we own all the assets, we own all the channels, and we just place creators on each one of them. So we're building like a media company at the same time we're building a software business. So anyone who eventually wants to buy our business, they're buying the whole thing. This is pretty cool. The hard part though, one tip I can give is if you're doing this, if you're outsourcing the content creation, don't try to hire a content creator because they're expensive and have a high ego, as they should. Go hire people and find people you think can become creators. For example, when I posted a job on Upwork trying to find people to create YouTube videos for us, I only hired people who had an image on their profile photo and a video on their presentation because I knew they were sort of predisposed to showing up on camera and recording videos. So you get those people to do the videos and become YouTubers.
Nice tip. When you're crafting YouTube content, do you always think from search perspective first, like in terms of the title?
No. I do 3 types of videos. I do the search-based ones, which are like evergreen ones, how to, whatever. I do viral-like videos, so videos that get a bunch of views and then none of them. And then news-based like GPT comes out with a new model or Google comes out with a new update. So those 3 types of videos. Because a search-based video, one, can take a lot of time to get to a lot of views, and it's not guaranteed that you make a how-to video that's going to get a lot of views, right? So there's that as well. I try to keep a good mix of those 3 types of videos in there. Yeah.
What do you think are the biggest mistakes that kind of B2B and SaaS companies are making when it comes to their content, especially on YouTube?
I'd say on YouTube is the packaging, like, because you can have the best video ever. You can have the cure for cancer, but if nobody clicks on it, it's kind of pointless, right? Spend more time on the title and thumbnail than you spend on the actual video. And then also syndicate it. What we do a lot is we syndicate the videos to our email list. Because back in the day, I thought, okay, most of our clients come from YouTube. So there's no point in me emailing them about new videos. No, but there is. Because they find us once from YouTube and then they never go back. Mm-hmm. So now we use Customer IO for our email marketing, and they allow us to track the sales that come from each email, the conversions. And we clearly see actively people buying conversions when we just syndicate new videos from YouTube to the email list. So it does work, syndication. So I'd say, again, the mistakes would be not spending enough time on packaging, title and thumbnail, and not syndicating your content. Yeah.
How do you think about when it comes to... I'm a big fan of Alex Hormozi as well. Like, I know a lot of people hate his stuff, but I actually think it's really practical, especially from a founder perspective. I think I listen to his stuff most of the time. Like if I'm driving to the gym or to the shops, whatever, I just think it's one of the most practical, like as possibly controversial as it sounds, like some of the most practical advice you can get in terms of building a business, because he actually does it and he breaks down in quite simple terms, which I like, having a simple brain myself. So with that said, when it comes to kind of plugging your own product, I think a lot of folks are scared to do that, and I'd be interested to know how you think about that. Like we talked about giving the playbook away for free in your content. How do you think about then linking that back to your offer or product, and any tips there?
So I think two things. I think first thing, people don't do enough CTAs. You have to do more CTAs. In specific on YouTube, right? If you do like a 10-minute video and average watch time is like 2 minutes, well, this tells you you need to make a CTA before the 2 minutes. So plug it away. Like we plug it even too much that people complain we're just doing like sales videos, which they all are, right? People complain sometimes. But I generally think if you're giving enough value, people don't care if you're selling anything. Like on all my videos, I try to give away every single thing I know, just like Hermosi does, right? Mm-hmm. And I guess the law of reciprocity, I think that's how you say it, will make you want to buy from him because he gave you the most information, right? Another one is if you really know your product works, I don't think you'll have any issue like plugging it. If you had the cure for cancer, you'd be telling everyone it was amazing, right? So I think maybe people who don't plug it enough are not very confident about their product or their skills. I think that's maybe the biggest reason.
I see a lot of the same in companies' content on their website, especially blog posts. It's like you create this really useful, helpful blog article, and then you don't feature your product as a painkiller, or there's like a really vague plug, and it's like, we're getting all this visibility or traffic or users to the page. You need to not have a wall of text article, but you need to clearly plug your visuals, GIFs, examples, customer proof, social proof, video case studies. It needs to not just be an article, but a sales page. And I think it's a similar context for the YouTube. Like, yeah, give all the value away, but then position your product like this. We can solve this for you, and here's the next step.
And again, people that complain you're plugging too much, well, first they have time to be haters on comments, which ignore. And then they'll never be your customers. So again, I think if you give enough value, whether that's on a blog post, on a LinkedIn post, in content in general, you have all the right to plug. Even if your product is good, plug away, right? I think that's all you need to do.
Yeah, for sure. Talk us through any other marketing channels that you're running, or experiments that have failed, or learnings.
Yeah, so paid ads, paid acquisition, that's the holy grail, right? Spending $1, making $2 back. Man, if you can make that work, you're printing money. So we tried a lot of paid ads, a lot of funnels. We tried meta ads to a webinar funnel, which had like this high ticket offer where we paired a course with the software, because like the idea of the webinar is like for SMBs, and SMBs, from what I've found, is they want to learn how to do stuff. So that's why we have the course component there. And then you sort of add the software as a bonus, as a free thing. Sort of worked non-profitably. We then tried on YouTube. We did a retargeting YouTube ads for like the webinar registrations. Didn't work very well as well, not very profitable. We tried meta ads to a VSL plus book a call funnel. We tried meta ads to like a free lead magnet with a bunch of email sequences to nurture the people to get in to buy. All in all, nothing worked as well as organic so far, but we're still trying to crack paid acquisition. In fact, I had a call with a guy this morning about it. So we are still trying to do it. I think from what I've learned so far, the way in which you crack paid acquisition is through a high ticket offer. Maybe some of your listeners know about Alex Becker and how he grew Hyros. All his funnel was just meta ads to a VSL book a call funnel for a yearly plan on Hyros SaaS. We spoke about Hermosi. Hermosi is an investor in this company called publishing.com, where if you just check their ads in Meta, it's just ads on how to make money with Amazon, Kindles, whatever, to a webinar. And on a webinar, they tell you how to make the money. They give you a course plus a free software on how to optimize the thing. They're pulling in $50 million a year, 50, which is insane, just off of that webinar. So yeah, you gotta go high ticket. What else did we try? We tried Reddit posting, didn't work, right? It's hard. We did Twitter. It worked well in the beginning. Then we stopped sharing revenue because we reached a point, I think at around 10K a month, we stopped sharing revenue screenshots because they were like, competitors are coming in. That said, we have competitors right now that do share revenue screenshots on Twitter. And I mean, anytime you share money, gets engagement, gets views, and eventually gets you some clients. I'm just now trying LinkedIn. Yeah. See how that works. I made a tweet like an hour yesterday where PayPal put out a job post for $230,000 a year for a role where it was a person that helped grow the CEO's personal brand. So like a personal brand assistant to grow the CEO's PayPal CEO personal brand on LinkedIn. So PayPal is putting like a lot of money behind like building personal brands, and that's why also I'm on LinkedIn to grow personal. Like yourself, you're on LinkedIn as well, and it brings
Yeah,
you a ton of leads as you shared with me, right? So
it's decent, but then I'm guess the opposite to you. I think I got in YouTube at a later stage, and I haven't been hitting it as aggressively as you, which I'm looking to ramp up over the next kind of 12 months or so. But LinkedIn's like my all-in channel. Like I post daily without fail. I try and
yeah,
engage on relevant folks' posts to keep up visibility and all that good stuff. But yeah, there's only so many hours in the day.
true.
On that note, we actually had on the Breaking B2B podcast recently, we had a guy called Niels, who's the CMO at a company called Perspective that only does webinar funnels. So they're doing like, I think 10 million ARR, something like that, maybe a bit more, in quite a short space of time, like only a few years. But he broke down kind of their funnel. But I'm interested, he broke down kind of how that works with the ads to webinar to kind of nurture to eventually become a customer play for SaaS, and kind of his learnings along the way. He shared some really interesting stuff. Like they're doing super well now, but he's still jumping on like sessions each and every week with newly onboarded customers to like get their feedback on what they like, what they don't like, what they want to learn, and all that kind of stuff, which is nice to hear, because I just feel customer research is just the backbone of everything in marketing, like a regular feedback loop from the market. And I feel like so many marketers and founders just completely skip it or don't do it regularly. It's refreshing to hear. But with that said, what do you think? Like, it sounds like you tried quite a bit on paid media. So have we. What do you think with the bottlenecks? Like, why didn't they work?
I think part of it is because organic, when you have organic working so well, you try something new, you feel like you're neglecting the organic. And so, at least myself, I don't think I put enough effort into paid as I should, you know, because I was feeling like I was wasting time. Like, why would I be doing paid if organic is working so well? So that's one thing. The other thing is, like, for example, a webinar funnel is quite complex, right? It's not just ads to webinar, right? It's ads to webinar, which is like an hour long. You have to speak very well, create the pain point, create the solution, amazing slides. Then there's this follow up behind the webinar, to the replay, it's a very complex funnel. So a lot of things can break, right? So that didn't work out very well. Also tracking nowadays has become harder. So maybe when I'm looking at the numbers and seeing we're losing money, I'm thinking, maybe this isn't very, very good. Maybe just focus on organic. That's also part of the reason why I stopped paid and I just hired these other creators to publish on our YouTube channels organically, which is sort of still paid, but not really.
You're kind of taking the Hormozy thing there. Like, he always says, make the one thing, right? And because organic YouTube has been 95% of your business and you've proven the model, like, just keep doubling down until you can.
Yeah, but it sucks when I'm like scrolling on Twitter and seeing all these guys crushing it with paid ads, you know? I want to have it as well.
I suppose to go under the bonnet of our business, Breaking B2B, like I was on the verge of turning off LinkedIn ads like 3-4 months in after doing several thousand. I think we're doing 2K, not tons of cash, but we're targeting like 1,800 cold ICPs with cold ads, with my thought leader ads, so my best organic posts boosted to these ICPs, and retargeting like our own traffic through SEO, through paid, etc. And it was like 3 months in, we got nothing at all, and I was like, what is the point of this? I've burnt so much cash. I just keep seeing it coming out my Stripe out of my bank account. And then got to month 4 and I was like, oh, we got a booked call. And then I started seeing like the deals that were in our pipeline being influenced, in the sense that like, we're an agency, obviously a different model to you as a SaaS, but I saw the deals in my pipeline regularly engaging with my ads, and I was like, I like this. And then folks were joining sales calls saying, like, I keep seeing your stuff. I was like, that's exactly what I want. I'm so glad I didn't switch it off, because with LinkedIn it's more like a top of mind play. So I suppose
that's 3 months, right? 3 months with losing money.
3-4 months. Yeah, 3-4 months. Cash down the drain. We're trying Google Ads right now, but that's still early. Like, have you tried that? Have you tried Google Ads just for like specific bottom of funnel long tail searches?
Way back in the beginning, 2022, I think, or 3. It did work, but then again, YouTube started working well, so we just scrapped everything and just focused on YouTube. But again, I wanna give a go at ads again.
Yeah.
Properly.
Yeah.
Without the thought of organic in the back of my mind. But as you said, like 3 months losing money, and you're looking at the Facebook ads or whatever, and you're saying, oh fuck, I'm losing a lot of money. Should I continue with this? Should I make some tweaks? You know? So yeah.
Sometimes it's just giving it the runway, isn't it? Like giving it a fair test, going with a hypothesis. Like I think we'll get this off the back end, but then it's just the hard part is giving it the runway it needs. But then there does need to be a time where you say, look, I've given it 4 or 5 months. It's time to cut it off and learn and move on to the next experiment.
True. Then again, like the grass is always greener, right? I see people crushing it with ads, but you never know their margins, right? And maybe they see me crushing with organic, but they never know like other stuff that's going on, right? So I guess there's that as well.
That's one problem with social media as well, like especially LinkedIn. Like most people post about the wins opposed to what didn't work and stuff like that. But
yeah.
So is that the main plan for you now? Just keep doubling down on YouTube, build out these other channels, and keep doing those 3 strategies, like the evergreen searchable stuff where you give it all away, the viral shorts, and the kind of showing the product. And
the place to, now that we've increased our prices, target more and more agencies. And by target, I mean the ones we have, speak with them, ask them what they want, what they don't want. So speaking really with them. That's in terms of product. Then, yeah, keep doubling down on YouTube because it's clearly working. And give a go at ads again one more time. Because, I mean, if it works for all these other people, it should work for us, right? I'm not sure about the funnel yet, if webinar, if it's sales call, if it's just direct to the,
I'd be keen to speak to folks that have done that. Because I spoke to Niels, who gave a great breakdown for how their product does it. But then, just like me, I'm going to be as an SEO agency, SaaS SEO agency, I'm biased towards that as a service. He's going to be biased towards webinar funnels. I'd like to speak to someone non-biased who's done it and cracked it. So I think I need to get someone like that on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, because that would be an interesting play. I've never tried it ad-wise. Be interesting to see.
I think people who really crush it with ads, they don't say they do, because it's such a insane skill. You spend $1, you make $2. Why would you reveal any of that? It's so valuable, right? So I think it's going to be tricky. Who knows?
Yeah. Anything else in terms of let's pretend you rewound back to when you first started this SaaS. What would you have wished you'd started sooner or did sooner that folks tuning in could learn from?
I would say don't build features you think people want. Build ones they actually want. You'd be surprised with the insane amount of time you spend. Not just building the feature, but then maintaining it, because things in software break all the time forever. I would say in terms of product is that, and also speak more with customers. I think just around 6 months ago, we introduced these like weekly webinars where we just hop on a call or a Zoom call with everyone, customers, non-customers, just speak back and forth, not for support queries, but just to get to know them, their pain points. And I have no data on this, but I genuinely think that if non-customers hop on a call, they see me, again, see my face, hear my voice for long periods of time, they're much more likely, if and when they're looking for software, to buy ours rather than a competitor. And that ties in with the whole YouTube thing.
Who are you doing that to? Your email list?
Yeah.
And what are you packaging it as?
It depends. I also always had to make it a bit different. It's like a Q&A call, or if there's like a new Google update, hey, let's talk about this Google update, or whatever. Right? Try to make it different.
Okay. So you're packaging it like vaguely related to the niche that you're in, but as like a useful session to join.
Yeah, because I never want to ask people for stuff. I want to give people stuff, as cringe as that sounds. For example, when we ask for reviews, we don't ask for reviews. We say, hey, do you want to hop on a call so we can help you maybe improve the usage of your product? And so, of course, they say yes, because we are giving them something. And then once we're on the call, after we help them, hey, we ask for something. I think Hermosi talks about this as well. It works so well. Because before we were just asking, hey, give us a review. Nobody gave us a review, right? Now we're giving them something and they give us something back.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a nice tip for sure.
And then just one last thing. Churn is very hard to tackle. We tried everything, like this big complex churn sequence where you had to, not that you had to book a call, but you had to watch the video, then click here, click whatever. A big thing with win back sequences. Nothing really worked. I'd say the best thing to reduce churn is choosing the right customer.
Yep.
Like the right ICP. That's the biggest thing. And I think you can agree as well with you, right? With this. If you have the right customer, they'll never churn. If you have like a shitty customer,
Yeah, I can only speak from an agency's perspective. Obviously, 95% of our clients are B2B SaaS for our SEO agency. So I've not ran a SaaS, but I work with a lot of SaaS. I talk to a lot of marketing leaders. I think that's a fair point, like nailing ICP. And I think what you're doing is like pretty much spot on from the feedback loop perspective. Like make sure you're building. In fact, it's kind of making me want to do live sessions for our customers. Like just existing customers, just share them I'm probably similar to you in the fact that I like to just give the playbook away, whether that's on the podcast, whether that's on LinkedIn. Like, we run so many weird experiments ranging from asking the public what they think about SEO and how to get top of Google, to me running around in a Superman outfit in my local town, to all this kind of stupid stuff, to trialing LinkedIn thought leader ads. And I kind of feel like you said, if you're having an open feedback loop with your prospects, whether they're customers or not, or both, and like you're just sharing like what's working on the broader spectrum of your niche, they're going to just find that useful.
Yeah.
You can answer some questions around the product or the service or the offer as they go, because they're probably going to get brought up, and it just increases customer happiness.
And you never know who can join, right? If the link is public, anyone can join. A friend of a friend, an agency owner who's not a client yet might join. Also, something we do like as a call to action on the calls is like, I tell people to like put a number in the chat, and I just randomize a random number generator, and the winner gets a free month of our SaaS. So we get a user in, it is free, but they use the product, and then if they like it, the next month they'll pay for it. So we try to have always a call to action on the calls.
Got it. Very nice. But how big's your newsletter right now?
I think around 20K, but not all of them open the emails, of course.
That's decent though. What's been the biggest driver of kind of building signups for that?
Well, we have a free trial on our homepage, so it's that. We never really use a lot of lead magnets. We probably should, but I do think that the reason why I haven't done it, YouTube to lead magnet, is because I feel like people who want freebies don't really buy stuff, but I could be wrong there.
Not a bad hypothesis. Could be tested.
Yeah.
No, fair enough. Just before we wrap up, tell me how you think about SaaS.
Oh, sorry. Sorry to cut you up there. I was just looking at we have 64,000 people in the list.
Oh, you've got 64 subs.
Yeah.
And most of those basically come from free signups. So there'll be a mix of kind of free and paid members.
Yeah, out of these 64K people, there's a bunch of free members, a bunch of spam maybe as well, and a bunch of paid ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that kind of round table Q&A idea that's packaged as something super useful for the community. And I like the idea of even saying, like, you probably do this already, but like bring a friend or bring someone you know who's relevant in the niche and just build it
And also, what you can do, since you're doing it live, you might as well just syndicate it to YouTube Live, because YouTube pushes lives very, very, a lot. Yeah, a lot. You'll notice that if you subscribe to a couple of accounts, if they're live, on your subscription feed on the left-hand side, the ones who are live are always on the top. And even on the homepage, they're always on the top left-hand side corner. But YouTube pushes live a lot.
Got it. Are you doing that?
No, I'm not. I should. Even Twitter, right? On Twitter, on the homepage, it pushes out on the right-hand side, everyone that's live. I should. I say a lot of stuff that I don't do that I should be doing.
Oh, same here, man. I think that's just the life of a B2B founder. There's always an idea a day. It's just getting the time and resource. Lastly, talk to us about what you think about and what you've done when it comes to pricing strategy.
I think you can overcomplicate it, but I think it's about moving up market as you grow. Let's say you have 3 plans, and most of your sales come from the highest plan. Well, you should probably increase your prices. So that's what we do. We try to. So most recently, we increased our prices, I think, a bit too much. And I was thinking, okay, yeah, we're going to have less sales, but the sales that come in from the higher prices will offset the loss in sales. And I'm now starting to see that succeeding, but for like a month or so, we were a bit scared. But I think in terms of pricing, at least me as a consumer, when I see something cheap, I expect it to be cheap. When something is expensive, I expect it to be valuable. So if you want to move up market, target like a better ICP or an agency, having a higher price like also increases the perceived value of your software, and also increases again the quality of the customer. So they might complain less if something breaks. They might be a bit more tolerant. So we just increase the prices as we go, as we look at the data, and as we want to position to different markets. I think our initial price was like $9 a month. Our cheapest version now is like $59, so it's quite a steep increase. But also, like, we keep improving the product, right? You get more features, you get more data, you get more cool stuff, right? So it makes sense.
Do you think there was, like, were your roadblocks to upping prices, was it more psychological, like in your own head, that you didn't think you could do it as quick as you could? Or were there other levers that pulled that made you feel that the product was then ready to price higher?
I was afraid that, because again, most of our users come from YouTube. I was afraid that if I increased prices too much, the current people who were watching the current content we were making wouldn't buy, because we were making like not that we were making like how to make money online type of content. We weren't, but we weren't making content that was maybe geared towards agencies, and maybe we still aren't too much. But I was afraid that the leads that were coming in would be like unqualified for the prices could be charging. That makes sense.
That's fair. I think we all think it. It's like when we raised our prices a tiny bit, I think one of our most popular tier is like 5.5k US for fully managed SEO for B2B SaaS. And like we raised the price a while back by $500, and I thought, oh no, we can't do it. No one's going to buy anymore. And then CMO, VP of Marketing looks at it. No problem. Let's go ahead. It's all in your head for that kind of stuff. Like, yes, baseline, you need to deliver a good product and good service and good customer success. That goes without saying. But when you uptick your prices by a small amount, like no one actually considers it that much if you've got your ICP nailed on.
Yeah, I think it's always like a issue with value, right? If you sell me, if I pay you 5k and you get me 10, I don't mind paying 5k, right? So it's only a matter of showing the value. For example, for our new SaaS, like what we do is we essentially replace your customer support guy. So sort of, if you're paying him like 2k a month, 24k a year, like if we cost like a tenth of that, and we can show you clearly, hey, listen, we do what this guy's doing for a tenth of the price, it's clear that you can show the value. So I don't think it's a price issue. I think it's a value issue oftentimes. If people aren't paying what you're charging, is because they don't see the value.
That's it. And I suppose it's also knowing, again, it all comes down to targeting the right prospects, knowing that your offer is considerably more valuable, or the cost of inaction or the cost of their status quo or using a different alternative is like more painful, more cost worthy, etc., compared to using your offer, and making sure, like in my case, the folks that I target are selling a decent ticket, a high ticket offer that makes it worthwhile. So the return on investment is going to be faster, or likewise weighing out with your SaaS.
That's a big one for agencies, right? Working with people that sell, for example, high ticket stuff that your services can bring them a positive ROI. That's a big one,
Yeah. Cool, man. I enjoyed it. Thanks for sharing everything when it comes to kind of what's worked for SaaS marketing for your company. And yeah, really appreciate it. I'm sure our audience will find it useful. So with that said, please do share more about how anyone tuning in can find out about yourself, the SaaS, and the best way to get in touch.
Hard on LinkedIn, I'll just say LinkedIn. So my name, Vasco Monteiro, just go on LinkedIn. The goal is to become an influencer by the end of the year. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll become bigger than Sam, who knows? And just find me on LinkedIn. That's all. And I guess if anyone wants to give a go at Arvo, we can just use the code. Let's do SAM15 for 15% off. There you go.
There we go. We'll put all those links in the description below. Appreciate it, man. Enjoyed the chat.
Yep, likewise.
And there we have it, marketing strategies that work today from a SaaS founder themselves. And if you're maybe a SaaS marketer or founder that's just starting to get a bit tired of seeing competitors above you in Google's organic search results and now LLMs, meaning those competitors are enjoying all those leads, signups, and potential revenues that could be yours, well, we might be able to fix that for you over at breakingb2b.com. You can schedule a call with me. We can share some tips, ideas, and insights that might start making SEO a top inbound lead and pipeline driver for your B2B or SaaS. That's breakingb2b.com, or hit the link in the description below. Or if you're not ready, check out the Breaking B2B newsletter for weekday tips, insights, as well as my free 90 Days to Revenue playbook. Or you can check out the Breaking B2B podcast for regular interviews and solo episodes. With that, I'll catch you on the next one. Cheers.